Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan and I'm here to bring you another FPL video. So in this one we're going to be breaking down my team selection ahead of that fast turnaround for game week 5. I'll be breaking down all the transfers that I've made so far and my plans moving forward, as well as a fixture breakdown for game week 5 to 8 ahead of a potential wildcard in game week 9. So let's have a look at the team first of all. We've got Robert Sanchez in nets after an 8-point haul. There's no surprise that he still makes the team ahead of Ward. He's looking absolutely great. Brighton as a defensive unit as well, looking fantastic. I anticipate that Fulham may be able to grab something from this game, though. They've looked really good at Craven Cottage so far, and I think Sanchez potentially is going to concede here after that conceded goal against Manchester United in game week 1. So we'll see what happens. I'm still happy to own him long term, at least up until the wild card, of course. So yeah, very, very happy with him so far. Trent, of course, making the cut again after a 17-point haul against Bournemouth. Very, very good if you captained him, of course, netting you 34 points total. So an absolute magnificent score if you'd done that, and no doubt a major green arrow if you made that decision. So congratulations again to you. Kyle Walker, of course, staying in the team against a favourable Nottingham Forest fixture at home. Again, he's always been there in my team to cover the Man City clean sheets, which have been few and far between. I don't anticipate any attacking returns from him either, but he's still there in the team ahead of Nico Williams or Trippier with a bit more of a tricky fixture to boot. So Reece James also coming in again. Right centre-back a couple of times now that he's played to begin with, and only playing right wing-back towards the latter stages of the game. Hopefully that changes when Fofana comes in. We do anticipate that he will start at right centre-back, so that push James out to the wing as we'd like, really. We want him to be there. It's his best position. It gives him the most attacking output. So yeah, looking forward to Fofana joining Chelsea to give us that extra push. However, with Southampton being a turnaround of so quickly, essentially in the midweek, I don't think that we're going to get to see him just yet. I think he'll probably feature in the weekend game, right? So Reece James still looking great as an option, and very, very happy again to own him. Mo Salah currently has the vice captaincy on him. So quickly touch on captaincy. It's on Haaland at the moment. Really, it's only because I think that Forest is a more favourable fixture than Newcastle currently. I think that we can anticipate Haaland may get rotated or substituted early against Forest, but we'll have to wait and see what Pep's comments are. I'm very intrigued to see what he does with him. There is another midweek fixture for City next week in the Champions League, so I think it makes actually more sense for Haaland to start in this game, get rested against Villa, potentially only say make 20 to 30 minutes in that game at the weekend, and then of course play the full Champions League game next week. So we'll have to wait and see. It's definitely a kind of a coin flip really against Salah to go with Haaland, but I anticipate that yeah, we'll get more information closer to the deadline and be able to finalise that decision. But yeah, Mo Salah very, very unlucky not to register an attacking return in that 9-0 victory against Bournemouth. I do think his numbers look still very, very good. I don't see any reason to not continue to back him across the season. I think, yes, his 13 million price tag is really, really, it's massive. It's very, very big. We haven't seen him return as much as we'd like to, but I only see good things coming from him moving forward. So he remains in the team. Of course, Saka also in the team. I do think, as mentioned previously in other videos, Martinelli is the first choice midfielder really from an Arsenal perspective. From the eye test, from the stats, everything really points towards him. But I'm still happy as a Saka owner that he did look a little bit better against Fulham. I wouldn't say that his statistics matched or were better than Martinelli's. He was fortunate to actually outscore him in my opinion, but nonetheless he has outscored him for 1 week there. So I think moving forward he could almost match him. We don't really want that, of course, though, because we're spending a lot more money than other managers in terms of Arsenal attack coverage, but he is still that coverage. So I like him for now. There's no need to immediately knee-jerk him out. moving into gross next after an 11-pointer against Leeds. Very, very happy to own him moving into that Fulham fixture. Not too sure what to expect from this, though, at Craven Cottage. I think they've played very, very well, Fulham, at home so far. So potentially this is, again, a fixture that he blanks in. But again, he's already justified himself as that pick, and coming in with 2 attacking returns so far in 2 weeks for me since bringing him in for Pedro Neto. So very, very happy with his points so far. And of course, you can see here the transfer that I've made. Mason Mount is out for Rodrigo. Everton at home fixture, followed by a couple of favourable fixtures for Leeds. Makes sense for this man. He's playing out of position and covering Bamford while he's injured. His statistics look fantastic. If you've just watched the Game Week 5 watch list, you'll see exactly why I think he's kind of top of the chain, really, in terms of a transfer in. So very, very happy to have made that transfer. Andreas Pereira gets the nod ahead of Trippier and Nico Williams as well against Brighton. I think he could potentially get a return here. As mentioned, I think Fulham are going to cause Brighton potentially some problems here at home. It is a fast turnaround, so we'll have to see what happens for both teams. Yeah, I'm very happy to own him. He's on set plays. He seems to be, his deliveries are looking great for the likes of Mitrovic, who is in form. So very, very happy to play him in my starting 11 ahead of that fixture. And finally, the 2 forwards of Jesus and Haaland. And as mentioned, Haaland getting that captaincy over Salah at the moment against that favourable Forest fixture. And Jesus against Villa. Look, Villa haven't looked very, very good defensively so far. I think potentially he can go and get another 19-pointer if he really put his mind to it. He's looking world class. Arsenal 4 out of 4, looking like this fixture could be a 5 out of 5 for them. Absolutely phenomenal start for them for the season. So very, very happy to own him moving forward. So bench then, just as a quick rundown, we've got Ward in goal, Trippier against Liverpool, Nico Williams against City, and then of course Luke Plange against Brentford, but he's out on loan anyway, so never really coming into our thinking. But Trippier and Nico Williams, 2 difficult fixtures, no bench headaches for me here this week at all. Very, very happy to own both of them moving forward. Nico Williams potentially could get upgraded now with the 2.1 million in the bank, but we'll see moving forward. I'm more than happy at the moment to roll that second free transfer into game week 6 unless we get any last minute news come deadline. So 248 points so far overall. Current rank of 1.6 million. That was a huge green arrow for me this week with essentially a 2.8 million starting point, 1.2 million increase to 1.6. So very, very happy with that. We've had 0 hits for this game week and 0 hits so far across the season, which I'm also very happy with. I'm trying to stay as away from them as much as I can this season. In previous seasons, I've definitely early on had to make some knee-jerk transfers or tried to beat price rises in certain ways, but I've taken my time and remained calm this season, and it's paid off so far. So very, very happy. I've moved him to now a 98.7 million squad value, and as mentioned, with that 2.1 million in the bank, offering me some flexibility come game week 6, right? So as long as I roll that second transfer, I'll have 2 free transfers again into game week 6, which is looking very, very good. So let's have a look at the next section of the video, where I did do the same thing in the team selection for game week 4, where we break down the fixtures from game weeks 5 to game weeks 8, just to kind of ultimately fit in our short-term transfers ahead of a game week 9 wildcard. So, this may not necessarily be valuable to you as a manager if you've already hit the button, but these next few fixtures, essentially for most managers, I think now that are considering the wildcard across that international break, really our transfers now, we need to be thinking about these fixtures as the main focal point, right? So if we have a look at this is from the attacking point of view, first of all, we have a look at the top 6 teams here. We got Bournemouth, Brighton, Manchester United, Crystal Palace, City and Leeds. So Leeds, obviously a team that I wanted to target. They are 6th on this list. Arguably, I could have gone with someone like Rashford, similar price point, a little bit cheaper actually than Rodrigo, and targeted United's fixtures. I still feel like they're potentially a wait and see with European games coming up as well. I'm not so sure how Ten Hag is going to be rotating them. So let's wait and see on the Man United attack. Very happy to own Rodrigo, as I say, although they're 6th on the list here with those 3 fixtures, and even potentially Manchester United in game week 8 is a good fixture for him. So I'm happy to have transferred him in for this short term. Arguably, there are options for City, such as Phil Foden and Gundogan. But again, based on rotation, we're not really sure in terms of what's going to happen with the fixture congestion coming up. So I wanted to make sure that I've got someone that's nailed in terms of minutes and essentially a for sure starter for me. So that's why Rodrigo come in as an attacker for these based on these fixtures. But I did break down more specific kind of players to look at in my game week 4 team selection video. So if you want to go back and watch that, just to kind of see where I analysed the player picks to focus on, then please feel free to do that, as I won't do it again in this video. But ultimately, I think there's a plethora of options for us for these kind of 4 very, very small short-term window in terms of games, right? So if you are on that game week 9 wildcard like I am, definitely these are the teams that I would look at for bringing players in. So defensively, on the other side, we have got a slight shift in terms of teams. So you can, in Fantasy Football Scout, you can do an overall fixture ticker, but I like to split attack versus defense. So it gives us a lot more of a detailed overview on teams to target. Now, in the defensive run, we've actually seen City move from the 5th place into the 3rd place. Manchester United completely drop out from a defensive point of view. Palace, Brighton and Bournemouth remain in the same positions respectively. Leeds bump themselves up slightly to the 5th position, and Arsenal coming in as team number 6. So really the only team I would consider here are probably Arsenal in terms of a defence. I've already got Kyle Walker. I've already got Sanchez of Brighton. Potentially, as mentioned in my watch list video, the new left back for them looks promising. Estupinan, I think his statistics underliningly look very, very good. And arguably, he could be a budget option into the defence that offers potential attacking output. So he could come into my thinking. I was against the double up originally, but actually after what the type of numbers that Brighton are putting out defensively, he could easily come into my thinking for Nico Williams and come in as a potential 4.5 million option. We've also got obviously City there, already got Kyle Walker, but Cancelo I still think is a hold for managers across this time frame. He's obviously not put out the same numbers as he did last season, but I still think from a defensive point of view his fixtures look very, very good. I don't think Crystal Palace really there's any mention of any defender to note, and same for Leeds really. I don't necessarily trust either of these sides to net too many clean sheets moving forward. So my focus would be definitely on Arsenal as a defence to target. Of course, they have got Manchester United in game week 6, which arguably on paper is a little bit more tricky to essentially not concede in, but the other 3 fixtures either side of Villa, Everton and Brentford, if you can bench one of those the defenders in game week 6, then I think the flexibility offered there is great for those short-term fixtures, right? So there's kind of the breakdown of the fixtures as well on top. As I've mentioned, I've got another free transfer moving into game week 6 currently, but we'll have to see come deadline if I do change my mind. But as that's how it stands at the moment, guys, I'm pretty set on that decision. I think Andreas as a starting substitute option essentially is more than enough for me to be able to carry over that second free transfer. So let me know in the comments below what you think you would do based on my team, or what your plans are for your own. Feel free to add any bench dilemmas or transfer options in the comments, and I of course respond to all of them. And I will be doing a live stream come deadline tomorrow, so feel free to join me on that. And we'll be talking about all things FPL and potentially just football in general once the deadline passes. So feel free to join me on that. Again, thank you so much for the support. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell for me. And of course, if you enjoy this content as well, smash that like button below. So thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.